Well, hello, good afternoon from Tromso International Airport. What an amazing last 24 hours as Monique and I have arrived in the Arctic Circle, enjoyed thoroughly a tour of the wilderness, and then of course a spectacular evening into the early morning chasing the northern lights. I can't help but feel this place has a magic to it. It's ruggedly beautiful. It's cold, but we are so pleased to have been able to get up to the Arctic Circle. We've done Antarctica, now we've been to the Arctic Circle. This world is an amazing place and you've got to keep exploring. So today we're about to commence another amazing journey from these -8s, -9s, probably got to about -12 last night. Thankfully we had our thermal suits. We're flying to Cambodia, and so there will be a bit of a transition. We've got a night in Bangkok to see in the new year, and then through to Siem Reap. So keep following us as we continue this amazing journey. Now, what's really exciting is we're about to fly Austrian Airlines for the first time from Tromso direct to Vienna in business class, and then Vienna direct to Bangkok on the 777. So I've been looking forward to flying Austrian. They have a great reputation for their food. We're going to put it to the challenge. I must confess we've just arrived at Tromso Airport and it's a construction site. It's a bit of a disaster. If I turn around, this tent behind me is the international terminal, and so there is no business class lounge, there was no business class check-in, no priority, but hey look, that's okay. Travel is an adventure. You can't always expect things the way that you assume they will be. Although airlines should get into the habit of actually communicating to their passengers about these types of things, just to help us and be aware that in fact your normal departure is going to be different to what you would usually or what they would aspire to deliver. But that's okay. I am in a desperate hurry to get Monique her first coffee. This is 12:30 in the afternoon. This is as light as it gets for about 3 hours in the Arctic Circle. Anyway, my hands are freezing. I've got to get Monique a coffee. Come with us as we try out Austrian Airlines all the way through to Bangkok. Tromso's check-in was busy. Currently the whole terminal is being refurbished, and you had to check in one terminal and then walk outside to the departures tent. The scenery is just breathtaking, and thankfully it wasn't too icy underfoot. The temporary departure tent was warm, a very limited number of toilets. It's very crowded, but it didn't take us too long to find the only coffee and food cafe, which was by this time desperately needed. So one of the things I know after 36 years of marriage is Monique needs her coffee, and I finally, and what is it, nearly 1 in the afternoon?
1:30.
So 10 past 1. I've finally been able to get her a coffee, and first smile of the day. I've got for that.
I feel human now.
And the breakfast wasn't the business class breakfast that I promised to.
Breakfast of champions.
No, now it's a breakfast of champions with a Snickers bar. Anyway, so we're checked in, we're through security, we're in the tent, they're boarding a flight for France. We're not going on that, we're going on Austrian Airlines. Yeah, looking forward to it. It was quickly time to board. I quietly asked the staff whether or not they offered priority boarding, and they opened another lane. So we're finally boarding our Austrian flight. They're very understaffed here, sort of struggling to get this plane out. This is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you can see it's now a very bad start. But here's our A320. The noise you hear is from the fan blades in the engine that are turning due to the wind. I'm hoping that part of the renewal for the terminal includes air bridges, as boarding using stairs and a walk along an apron when it's full of ice and -10 doesn't seem sustainable for long before someone gets hurt. Again, no boarding pass check. You leave your bag, love, you grab the window.
My favourite. Let's see what's in the amenity bag.
So what's your initial impression? It's sort of a typical European.
Yeah, absolutely typical European or that sort of short haul business class. But I mean, you don't always get an amenity bag, so as soon as I can open this, I'll show you what's in it.
A few moments later.
And a few minutes later, right, it's actually quite a nice little bag. Gorgeous red Austrian socks, red eye mask, earplugs, and toothpaste. Very nice, efficient.
So it's just an economy seat with the seat in the middle.
Middle seat
free.
Middle seat free. Actually, I don't mind that because you lift the armrest. You can spread out. No doubt I'll have my legs up on Ewan's lap before we know it.
The seat pitch wasn't great, but it was only a 3-hour flight. The cabin is quite attractive, I found. The grey leather seats with the red headrests I thought was attractive. The cabin crew's uniforms are very bright red. I think the bright red stockings go too far. Very quickly we were rolling. The aircraft tonight is Oscar Echo Lima Bravo uniform. It's an A320. It's 22 years old. Call sign is Austrian 33 Tango Sierra, and it's actually number 1478 off the production line. It's an old bird. It's nice having
And they're fragrant.
fragrant.
Always nice. Refreshed.
So what are you going to go with?
So got the lovely breads. You can't go past the roast salmon. And looking forward to the Viennese pastries.
I think I'm going to go with the salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll show you soon. Austrian have got Skynet, which was really easy to log into. You have 30 free minutes of access, and then you've got to pay for it. They've got a flight map, which will be really interesting to follow our trajectory today. Magazines that you can download. Yeah, so really, really good. Shall I try the sky map, see how easy that is to get into? One moment, please. Oh, so there you go. So we look forward to the flight, and we'll see you, well, we'll show you dinner.
I decide if I want to start with a beer or a wine. You're going to go with beer or wine?
Wine.
Wine. White.
What else?
White and red.
White.
Okay.
So despite only having a coffee and a chocolate muffin, breakfast of champions, my next drink is a nice Austrian white wine, a Grüne Veltliner, hopefully I pronounce that properly. So cheers. Very nice. Can't go wrong with an Austrian white wine. Cheers.
You ordered the salmon?
Yes. Oh, it smells lovely. Yum. Beautifully presented.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Would you care for some bread?
I'm fine. You gonna have some bread?
I'll have a little bit of Austrian bread, yeah.
Some bread? Yeah, really good.
Oh, wow.
Oh, beautiful.
Attention hot still?
That's so cool.
Enjoy your meal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Isn't that nice?
Isn't that amazing? The bread, the way they...
Yeah.
It's really cool.
And the presentation is very cool.
I'll just do a little bit of the presentation.
And
What
I've
is
got
it?
I've got to say, it smells amazing. So far, it has been delicious.
Before I focus on my meal, I can't help but tell you how excited I am about the desserts. I see there's a strudel, which looks really yummy, so I'll make sure I capture that. Yes, I knew it would get Monique's attention. She loves apple. Anyway, we'll bring back. Sorry, we will film that when it arrives. So let's try this milk curd strudel. It's okay. I mean, it's not spectacular. I might need to try it with the berry ragu. Maybe that will add a little bit of oomph to it. I've added the berry ragu. Yep.
And I would like to know, what is the difference between a berry ragu and a berry compote? If anybody can clarify that, please leave a comment.
Right. Yes, Monique has asked this philosophical question, the difference between a berry ragu and a berry compote. She would like to know the difference. I don't really mind. It's quite yummy. But probably not as good as ice cream or a simple crumble. But hey, it's not bad. Now, the coffee, let's try that. It's nice little cup, frothy milk. Oh yeah, the coffee's very good. So overall the dessert is okay. The coffee's excellent. So I've decided to finish my meal off this evening with a Bailey's on ice.
Actually safe on returning. Thank you and goodbye.
So welcome to Vienna. So Austrian Airlines, would I fly them in their business class into European flights? Look, I'd describe them as average. The positives were they got us to Vienna on time and safely. Overall though, both the things that they are in control of and things that they're not, things didn't quite go well for them. And the terminal in Tromso currently is a real mess. So the whole check-in process is dishevelled and poorly structured. the boarding, which they are in control of the aeroplane, was unruly. There was no priority pre-boarding, there was no status recognition boarding or even business class boarding, which I thought was really poor. The meal service on board was okay. I thought the seats were typical inter-European business class, really an economy seat with the seat next to you empty. But what really surprised me was there was no power to the seats. You couldn't recharge your phone, which is really below par. And of course there was no curtain separation from economy and business class, so there was a lot of toilet traffic constantly going through the premier cabin. Overall, the crew were okay. The drinks on board were fine. There was good free Wi-Fi for at least the first 30 minutes. Look, would I fly them again? I wouldn't go out of my way to fly Austrian inter-European, but that's just from one flight. But I'm pleased to be in Vienna. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get notifications.